But like I always wanted her to know like how to defend herself. Right. So I beat her up all the time.
Yeah.
I remember she would get tired of it. And like she always say to me, I'm gonna get you one day. And I'd be like,
And I would put all my money in the drawer, and me and my younger brother, we shared rooms. And I noticed my money would like decrease. And one day my mom said like, hey, where's he getting all these ice creams from?
It got to the point where the whole freaking couch was soaked in Windex. And I was like,
man.
I'm screwed.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Untapped Potential Podcast. We got a roundtable talk with special guest Emanuel Brown. What's going on, Emanuel? How you doing, bro?
Appreciate y'all for having me back.
And for those of you that have been watching the podcast in season 1, we had Emanuel Brown on episode 11 of season 1. We got the link in bio. Catch his full story there. But today we're just going to chop it up, talk about some different topics. But first, man, let's catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Man, it's been a lot that's been going on. I dropped an album in 2021. How do I not know when I dropped my own music? But 2021. So we did that for about a year. And then I dropped a group EP with my good friends King Dow, Sari Savvy, called KSC. It's an EP we dropped in June of this year. So yeah.
You've been busy, man. You've been busy. And I've seen you post a lot more on social media. We're just talking about YouTube shorts and how we've kind of changed our little approach on social media that way. So
yeah,
you've been busy, man. You've been keeping busy.
I'm trying. I mean, you could always do more, but there's only 24 hours in the day. So
yeah. And I want to point out, so you have I believe a music video dropping soon, right?
Yeah. So by the time this comes out, it'll be out.
Right.
So yeah, I have a new song called Don't Stop. That's out now, right? Since it's not, it's out now. And the music video is out. Shout out to Zach Purnell. He shot the video. It's probably my favorite music video to this date. And it's our first time working together too. So it was really dope.
Cool.
That's what's up, bro. We'll have the link in bio too for everybody.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So how is it like? I just want to ask about the album in general, because you don't see too many full albums that are just collabs. Obviously with bigger artists, like with Future and all that, you'll see big collab albums, but
right,
how did you come up with that, or what prompted you guys to just do something like that?
So it actually started I want to say the fall of 2020. Right. I've known Sari Savvy since 2018. I've known King Dow since 2019, and they didn't know each other. So they met through me on Instagram Live one time.
Oh.
And me and Sari had never done music, and we met at a show that we did. It was a terrible show that we did, by the way, but we met at a show that we did, and we were always talking about doing some music, and then me and King had never done some music, and then Sari was like, one time I think it was me and King on Instagram Live, and Sari was there, and he was like, we should do some music, and nobody was in the live, so we were like, well, let's jump on a call right now and talk about doing some music. So we jumped off, got on a Zoom, and Sari played the song Expensive for us. He had already made it, and he was just like, yeah, we should do this. So we did it, and then I'm gonna get to the point. And then he was like, yeah, we should do a project. And me and King were like, no, we're dropping, I dropped the Mosaic album. He dropped his Spiritualized project. And we were like, let's come back to this in 6 months. So in 6 months time passed, we came back to it, and we were like, let's do it. So that's how we did it.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to work with other creatives, because each individual has their own unique vision and how to approach something. So it's always cool to see other, creative people come together for one unified goal. Yeah. You mentioned a terrible concert experience.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What's your worst concert experience?
I would have to say it was that one, because it wasn't really so there's a difference, right? You have showcases and shows, right? And 101 for artists here is a tip, right? Never pay to do a show. Don't pay to play. It's just a waste of time, right? And basically, I was trying this thing out called Afton. Beware, do not do Afton shows. Basically, you have to pay them to do a show, and the more tickets you sell, the longer of a set you get, right? And then you get paid after you sell a certain amount of tickets. So it's all bad.
Bro, that sounds bad. Like, I've never heard of that, but the way you described
it's all bad, right? So basically, like, I had like maybe 40 of my biggest fans come out, right? So I got like a 30-minute set. So I brought my DJ with me, and it's like 20 artists.
Wow.
So it's like, and Sari was one of them, right? So like me and Sari sold all these tickets, and you just have people who've never performed before. So it just looks bad. Like, especially like if you're trying to like woo your crowd over, and then they see you're into that, it's like, they're like, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so that's why it was bad. I mean, my part was good. Sari's part was good. But after that, I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that no more. So
at what point do you feel like you lost the crowd, or not necessarily during your performance, but just in like the concert in general? Like, were people just starting to leave? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was bad because of the performance that I gave. I think it was bad because of what people thought they were walking into and what they actually got. So they were thinking like, oh, I'm going to walk into a show with 4 artists, but they walked into a show with 20 artists, and they're like, what the hell is this?
Right.
So it was a long night, to say the least, right? And it just wasn't good. So I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably all over the place too, though, right? Because it's different types of artists.
Yeah.
Like, your fan base might have came for a certain type of music.
Yeah.
And then you got like certain artists that are just completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, to be fair, like, I lost some fans that night.
Wow.
Just from that experience. So it was a lesson to know, like, okay, these people came out and spent $15 to come see me, and I just now they don't even think the $15 is worth it anymore because of that. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Right.
So yeah.
Man, I give you props though, E Brown, because honestly, man, since the first time we met, the first interview, like, bro, you're a grinder. Like,
I appreciate
think at that time you were talking about how you were doing like 1 song a week or 1 song a month or something like that.
Yeah.
A music video.
Yeah, I was doing a song and a video once a month from May of 2019 to like 2020.
Yeah, man. You were going crazy, man. And you're still putting in that work. You're still trying to grow as an artist, man. So mad props to you, man. That's inspirational.
Thank you.
And so staying on that same topic of inspiration and stuff like that, to inspire others, let's talk about a time that, or the best piece of advice that someone has given you.
I feel like I've gotten so much good advice. It's going to be hard to narrow it down to one, but the ones that always come to the top of my brain is like, everybody has a choice, and don't let that choice be an excuse. Right? Because I feel like a lot of people make excuses for why they can't do things, but you can do whatever you want if you really want to do it. Prime example, I know somebody who's like, man, I really just want to do music, right? I want to do this. I want to do it like that. But then they never take the step forward to do it. They never start. But your biggest problem is that you're not even starting.
Right.
And starting is the hardest part, because once you start, you're going to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's going to happen in life. You're going to fail.
Right.
But it's not about failing. It's about failing and learning from those lessons. You know what I mean?
Right. And I feel like I see a lot of that in kind of our growth with the podcast over the years. I think when we first started, our first episode was split into 2 different episodes because we realized that we couldn't record after a certain period of time on the cameras. So we had to re-record the episode a second time separately. And then, but the most important thing is that we started and we kept going.
Exactly.
And although we're not at the place like where our goal is yet, you can see like just the amount of growth that we have just sitting in this room, right?
For sure.
And I think it's just important to reflect on that for sure.
Well, I posted something on my story yesterday, and some people hate it when I post this stuff, but I don't really care, honestly. But it's like, people want validation from other people instead of wanting it from themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for you guys to be like, damn, like we messed that up. You know what I'm saying? But like, you kept going.
Right.
You knew, the whole team knew what you needed to do. It didn't matter what anybody else thought, which is why you're still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's important.
For sure.
What about you, Chris?
Well, so, and I don't know the exact phrase or like the sentence, but finding a partner in life that has the same goals and ambitions as you, because if you find a partner whose only focus is on fruitless endeavors, like, I don't know, getting money, getting a bag, getting like all these like meaningless things, then it's going to lead to fruitless outcomes.
Ooh,
And
that's
so
a bar.
That's big. Man.
Yeah.
That's a bar, yeah.
And
we got a sound for that on the board? Because that deserves a sound.
But yeah, I think like as I'm getting older, man, I don't know if like it's the old head in me or what, man, but I just see the reality of that every day, you know.
For
I mean,
sure.
the fact that our girlfriends are the ones behind the camera right now, you guys can't see it.
Right.
You guys on the first episode of this season,
Round
like,
of applause to them, man.
yeah, let's do a little round of applause.
Give yourself a round of applause, baby. Yep.
Come on.
Let's go.
But you can see like how important that is, you know, and
Absolutely.
having that good support system that allows you to kind of bounce off of each other, you know.
And I mean, just to add real quick, like I think if you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else believe in you?
Right.
Right. And I think people forget that too.
Yeah.
Like they want everybody to believe in them when they don't even believe in themselves.
Exactly, man.
Sure. Yeah. Those are gems, man. You both drop gems, especially that one, man. That's like,
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it comes full circle. Like you said, our girlfriends are literally in the room, like helping us with this quest that we got going on here with this podcast.
Right.
Oh, man. So for myself, one of the things that comes to mind when I think about this question is something, I think it was like in high school. I forget who told me this, but it was, don't ever let people's words like uplift you or bring you down. So when someone compliments you, like, don't let it bring you up that much. Like, be nice and respectful and say thank you. So when someone tells me like, hey, Max, good job. Like, you're killing it on this podcast. I'm like, cool, thanks. I'm not letting my self-worth like be elevated by that compliment though. It would be easy to do that because, you know, when people uplift you, you want to like let it take you all the way up. But also on the other side of the coin, when people put you down, don't let that bring you down. So other people's opinions should not affect where you're at mentally. You know what I mean? Like you should always have your own self-worth, like a baseline. And so like, I think for me, it was always obvious, like, okay, don't let the negative stuff like bring you down. But the other side of the coin is what really kind of like shifted my mindset. Like when people are complimenting you and trying to bring you up, don't let that bring you up because the same people one day might turn around and put you down. And then you're going to go all the way, you know, to the opposite side.
Right.
So
I want to talk about, since this episode is going to drop during Thanksgiving, I want to talk about something that we're all thankful for.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
So I'm going to start off with you, Max, since you started off.
Yeah, man. Man, honestly, I feel like I've said this before in previous episodes, but definitely as time goes on, the more I really look at my life and look at the people in it, the more I realize that I'm super thankful for the people who are really like in my corner and truly like supporting me and, you know, supporting me vocally and like with their actions as well.
Right.
You know, I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really fully appreciate that. I kind of took it for granted, right? Like even with like family and close friends and stuff, it's like as you get older, you know, people go their own ways and stuff like that. And, you know, that circle of like your close support system gets smaller. So the older I get, the more like I want to vocally express how thankful I am for those people and how thankful I am that, you know, they're in my life.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of my piece. That's what I'm mostly thankful for this year.
Yeah.
What about you, Emanuel?
Oh, okay. We coming this way.
Yes, sir.
Man, I think the thing I'm most thankful for is just people being honest with me. The people that I love the most being honest with me, because I don't feel like I had a lot of that around me within the last year and a half. So I think it's good just to have people who are just honest with me. You know, they tell me stuff when they don't like what I did or whatever, you know, music, personal life, all of it. I think it's great that people are just honest, because there's not a lot of honest people out here.
Right.
And I think that's something that is essential to growth and being the better person you can be every day. So I appreciate that.
I feel that, man. I feel like I'd rather have someone be honest with me and it hurt me than someone try to like sugarcoat and lie to me to kind of try to like save me from like negative feelings.
Right. Well, I think what you were saying earlier about, you know, the best advice you got about people not bringing you up and bringing you down. I think it's the same way about being honest with yourself too. It's like if somebody's telling you something, then you know it's not from a place of them trying to bring you down or bring you up too much. It's just the truth.
Yep.
So I think that matters.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think honesty too is, you can consider it like a tool that helps sharpen your character, because even if it's bad news or good news or just feedback in general, you know, you can take that feedback and just improve on it, prove on yourself. Like you mentioned, maybe somebody said something, negative about your music, but I know like you'll take that and you'll take it into consideration.
Yeah.
And at face value, and you can choose to improve on their suggestions or not. But I think without honesty, we're just kind of floating in our own like vacuum and thinking we're doing the right thing when in reality, other people's perspective may not see it that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What are you thankful for, Chris?
Kind of like on your note of, and I'm going to copycat like your answer a little bit. But just having a decent support system that helps kind of, can help us like I guess maybe the word is validation, but like validate, like maybe we are trending in the right direction, and we have like a good audience that would give us like the honesty that we need to improve on certain things. And we have people, especially for me in our life, that aren't afraid to give us like the tough news.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as I get older, and again, going back to the ego thing, I want to be rooted in reality, not rooted in some sort of God complex, like going off the Kanye end, like where, some people like for sure around him aren't giving him the real truth and the honesty, and that continues to inflate his character. And so without that strong support system, I don't think we'd be here, or I don't think I'd be here today. So I think I'm thankful for that, man.
Yeah. For sure. And to echo that, I'm super thankful for everybody who's been supporting this podcast. For real, like Chris and I were just talking about this. We put in almost 20 hours per episode into this. So it goes beyond like validation. It just feels good to be appreciated for hard work. And so for everybody that's out here, like really supporting us and really like putting their, energy into giving us a subscribe, a like, a share, like it truly does not go unnoticed. I know it sounds like cheesy influencer talk when we say that, but like we truly mean that, because we're not even that big and we're really putting in a lot of hours into this. So a true and genuine thank you to everybody who supports us.
Well, I would like to go off script a little bit.
For sure.
Just to give you guys your flowers on camera, right? Because I feel like to do 4 seasons of anything is hard. And to do it at a high level like you guys have been doing it says a lot about you guys and the entire team, right? So I want to give you your flowers for putting out great content and doing great things. And I don't think that enough, podcasters or interviewers get their flowers in the public enough. So I just wanted to do that.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank you,
that,
bro.
man.
Appreciate it. You've been there since day one, man. You've been commenting on pretty much every single one of our videos. You always share our stuff. And thank you, man. It means a lot, Emmanuel.
Absolutely. I mean, how do you want to grow if you don't want to see other people grow, right?
Right.
You got to build a community of people you want to build with. So it's that simple.
That's facts. I want to add a quick note to the honesty thing, because I saw a TikTok that's kind of relevant to this. I think it's important to have people that are honest in your life, because you can be the most self-aware person in the world, but you're always going to have blind spots.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only people that are going to see that are the people that are close enough to you to get to know you well enough to where they kind of know you better than you know yourself.
Right.
Because they're seeing you from like an objective stance. Like they don't have the bias that you have for yourself. So that's why it's super important to have honest people in your life, because, they'll point out those blind spots.
Right.
Switching it up a little bit though, man. We're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
We're finally switching seasons. We're recording this in October. We still got a little bit of smoke, but you know, that cold season's about to come through. That rain's coming.
Come on.
What do you guys like the most about the Pacific Northwest?
For me, like, being a transplant, as people call me, since, I came here from Virginia, I love the fresh air.
Yeah.
Outside of the smoke right now, like the fresh air, like the air is just so clean.
Yeah.
Crisp. And another thing I really love here too is like, there's something for every type of person here. You want to go to the city, you can do that. You want to go to the country, you can do that. You want to go hiking, you can do that. You want to go to the beach, you can do that. And I don't know how many cities in America have that all in one.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you too, because I grew up in Vegas and I was there recently. And we were driving around and it wasn't hot then, but back in July when I visited, it was pretty hot, right?
Right.
And when you go to Vegas, I mean, you're just surrounded by dirt and mountains. Right. That's really all it is.
And casinos.
Yeah, and casinos. Yeah. All the smoke from
and
there
other
too,
stuff.
Right? And I just I don't know what it was, but I was driving around in my parents' car and dude, I was pissed off, man. I don't know what it was. The heat, like the people, like there's just something about that city that just like, I don't know, just pissed me off.
Well,
And
I feel like once you're in a certain place for so long, you get accustomed to things.
Yeah.
Like I've been here long, and it's like, man, I don't want to go back to Virginia. Like I love it, but like I'm good.
yeah, I can't read, but what's the
Oh
next
yeah,
question?
my bad, bro.
I'll lead it.
Funny family or sibling story.
It's a good couple of them. So like my sister, we're about 6 years apart. Right. So I was sort of a bully to my sister. I'm not going to lie. But like, I always wanted her to know like how to defend herself. Right. So I beat her up all the time.
Yeah.
I would just beat her ass.
That's a good way to spin the story.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I just beat her ass all the time. So like, I remember she would get tired of it. And like, she always say to me, I'm going to get you one day. And I'd be like, nah, no way. So one day I was sleeping on the couch and she just ran up and punched me in the face and took off. And like I woke up like just so angry, but that was a good one for sure. Like, so that's one.
Damn,
That's
so she
funny.
got you, man.
Yeah, she did. She still tells that story to this day to everybody.
Laughing about it too, I bet.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you,
Man,
Max?
she's smart though. She got you in your sleep.
Yeah, she did.
Man, I got a couple, man. So I have a younger brother, so I got a lot of funny stories with him. One of the ones that kind of stands out, I'll tell a few, but the one that stands out immediately is when I was like probably like 13, 14, I started working like a little side job after school and stuff. So I was making a little bit of money, like $8 an hour, like whatever minimum wage was at the time. It was like helping a stepdad, doing some stuff. And I would put all my money in the drawer, and me and my younger brother, we shared rooms. So like I noticed my money would like decrease. You know what I mean? Like very slowly though. I'm pretty sure he was like kind of calculated about it. He was like 7 or 8. So he probably wasn't thinking too hard about it. And I noticed my money would like decrease. And one day my mom said like, hey, where's he getting all these ice creams from? And I was like, what ice cream? She's like, yeah, Sebastian's getting ice cream like every day.
Wow.
Yeah, this kid,
man.
like we grew up in a small town. We had like the ice cream man, the paletero. He'd be coming around like every day. This kid was getting like 2 or 3 ice creams a day with my money. I mean, back then they were only like 75 cents each. So he was stealing like $2 a day. And I probably only had like maybe $100 or $200 in there. And he would take the loose dollars. He was smart. And I wouldn't really count my money. I was like 13, I was like, it looks about right.
Right.
And I finally confronted him and he started crying. He started trying to play it off. And then he finally admitted it. He was like, yeah, I was taking money for like a month straight. So this kid took like $60 from me. Oh man, it was funny though. It goes back to like the older, younger sibling dynamic. You're always kind of going back and forth with each other. But I actually ended up getting him back. I think this might have been before that, but this might have been his payback for this.
Yeah.
So we were in Mexico. He was probably like 6 and I was probably like around 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this Exorcist game where like you had to do this like maze and you had to get really close to the screen. You couldn't like touch the sides. You had to like scroll your mouse and get it through.
Oh.
The point of the game was for you to have to get really close to the screen so that you can make it through the last level. And then at the very end, what would happen is like the Exorcist face would come on. And like it would let off a scream.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get him with that. And what I didn't know though is that the volume was turned up almost all the way up on these like big speakers. And so I'm sitting right behind him. He's doing it. And I'm like sitting there like ready for it to happen, thinking like, oh, he's just going to get a little scared. No, he like does it. It sets off the Exorcist thing and it like blares like a scream through the speakers. So like he got scared. I got scared, but this kid's only like 6, so he got like traumatized from it. He was like super scared of like The Exorcist after that, and yeah, it was.
That's funny.
It's like that older younger sibling dynamic. Yeah, those are some good stories, man.
Yeah.
So Froyo on Sebastian then, huh?
Hey, for real,
next
bro.
time you see him.
I always give a shit. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, bro, remember when you took money out of the drawers from me to get some ice cream?
That's so funny, man. So I mentioned that my parents like used to work a lot and they used to like just do like double jobs too, and so they're really busy, and so oftentimes I'd just be home alone, like just hanging out, eating food or whatever after school. And there was this one time where I think I was in kindergarten and I was just chilling at home like watching TV or something, and I spilled something on the couch. And I knew that I've seen my mom use Windex and stuff to clean stuff around the house. I didn't realize it was just for glass.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to use Windex and I'm going to clean this. And so I ended up spraying Windex into the couch. And mind you, it's like it's not a leather couch or anything. It's like one of those like absorbent material couches, right?
Man.
And it was like, I remember it was white with like some flower designs on it. So it was like a white couch. And I just started spraying it and I was like, oh crap, it's blue. And I thought I was like, you know what? Like, I think I need to spray more of it. No. It got to the point where the whole freaking couch was soaked in Windex. And I was like, man. I'm screwed. I can't get rid of this stuff. So I think I just like try to pat it down with towels or whatever. Long story short, it was still freaking wet. My parents came home and the next day, I think it was my dad, he sat on the couch because I don't think he realized it right away. He sat on the couch. He's like, ah! Like it's like all wet and stuff. He's like, what happened? And just imagining my dad like looking at a couch and all of a sudden it's wet and blue. Like what the hell happened here? And I told them, and man, like they spanked my ass for sure.
For sure.
Hey, before we wrap up, we got to point out two things that I wanted to point out earlier in the episode, but I realized we didn't. We're matching, bro.
That's right.
Unintentionally. Yeah. But you're actually rocking your own merch with that, which I think is pretty cool. You want to talk about
Let's
that?
Let's show it off real quick for the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just move this.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we got the, E Brown merch. Shout out to Robert Ironman from Fibonacci Studios. He made this for me. He actually handmade it. And then he made these shorts too, have like the EB on it. So yeah,
Oh, cool.
We're trying to be clean, trying to step up the game a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And it's on your website?
Yeah. You can buy it on my website. You can buy it on Spotify right now.
Yes, sir. We'll have the link in bio for that too.
Oh yeah. You can buy it on Instagram too.
One thing that like I realized too, and you're really great at this, that Spotify actually allows you to like buy into merch and stuff. I didn't realize that until I think you were selling like a CD or an album on there too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really creative, man. Going back to the hustle thing and giving you your props too. Like,
I appreciate
you're hustling, bro. And
I'm trying, man.
I love like every avenue that you're doing. It's awesome, man. It's great to see.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes,
y'all got to get some merch, man, so I can buy some merch.
For sure,
For sure, bro. Hey, maybe that's a sneak peek into what's coming soon.
For sure.
And before we wrap up, Chris, we can't leave you. We'll end this episode without talking about what's new on your face, bro. What's going on here? We got the beard.
Well, last episode with we filmed with Swa. You guys, it was like the beard Avengers, bro. Like I was outmatched, and so I had to had to grow it out a little bit. I've never actually grown a beard before, so
it looks clean, bro. I've literally never seen you with the beard. I've known you for like a few years now and never seen it before, but it's what's up, man.
We'll see, man. We'll see if we'll keep it going, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We got a new character on the podcast.
No Shave November.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up.
Yep. We gotta get big.
Yeah, this is actually dropping in No Shave November, so
that's right.
That's actually perfect. Yeah. All right. Well, man, thank you so much for coming through again, Emanuel.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Sir. Always great catching up with you, having great conversations. Maybe we'll do this again in a few seasons from now, maybe in a different studio. Who knows, man?
Right, yeah.
For sure.
Yes, sir. And thank you to everybody who tapped into this episode. If you made it to this point, you're a true fan. We appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, follow us on all social media, and catch us next time. Peace.